Tonight at 6, News Channel 5 investigates the neo-Nazis next door, a large hate group that our investigation discovered is expanding its presence right here in Tennessee. Good evening to you. I'm Carrie Sharp. That group, the so-called Patriot Front, is probably best known for plastering our communities with their hate-filled posters and graffiti. Now our investigation has uncovered new videos that reveal the group is also preparing for battle. Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams is continuing his Hate Comes to Main Street investigation. Phil, you have been working on this story for more than 3 months.
That's right, and during that time, we gathered never-before-seen video that shows what the Patriot Front is really up to. And as you're about to see, that includes training men to fight right here in the volunteer state.
Right now, they've got an enemy. If they get rid of their enemies, they're going to have to find a new one.
Our investigation began last fall as anti-fascist activists protested an annual white supremacist gathering inside the lodge at Montgomery Bell State Park, about 40 miles west of Nashville. It was an investigation that would eventually lead us across the state to this large compound being built by a hate group right here in Tennessee.
Come on, get in there. Nice.
A compound where members train for battles that sometimes play out on the streets of America.
These are smart, observant, thoughtful Americans who see that our country is going in the wrong direction and has been going in the wrong direction for decades.
Which may be why Jared Taylor, the founder of the American Renaissance Conference, insisted that we not take video of any faces while we were inside the conference. How about the neo-Nazis?
I don't even know a neo-Nazi.
That is absolutely false. Jared Taylor lied to you.
Jeff Tischhauser tracks hate for the Southern Poverty Law Center.
All right. First and foremost, only give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to brothers in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully, continually fighting that good fight of faith, Lord willing. We have found that number to be delivered. All right. So I just want to get into it a little bit about, the times that we're coming in. You see, Jake is still crying and boo-hooing about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, while Esau, Edom, they're ready, man. They're making moves. They're getting ready. They're preparing. All right. Even, some of these Israelite groups who have, these training camps and, exercising camps, they still ain't going hard like Esau's going. All right. Esau is ready. He's prepared because they believe that and rightfully so, this is their country. This is their country. This is what they're fighting for. All right. Now, at the beginning of this video, you heard him say, if they get rid of our enemies, they're pretty much going to turn on them. We have to understand, man. We speak about, never trusting our enemy, right? Well, understand that Esau also has an enemy, which are the Israelites. All right? This is Esau's enemy. But let's get down to the root of the problem here. This is Genesis 25, and I'm going to jump down to 21. And it says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. Right? So now we got to find out who these children are. Because there's been this going notion that there's a group of people that have been eradicated off the earth at this point. All right? Continuing on. It says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right? So we got to find out who these people are, who these nations are, right? And we understand and we know who they are, but it's getting to the point where it's crystal clear that the upcoming events are going to concern these very 2 nations that become of Isaac. All right. So this is Romans chapter 9. Let me start at about let me go to 9. I'll start at 11. No, I'll start at 9. I'll start at 9. It says, "For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall conceive a son. And not only this, but Rebekah also had conceived by one, even our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, according to the election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It is said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger." All right. Now we're now referring back to Genesis chapter 25. And it says, "As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." All right. So these are those nations that were in her womb. All right. The two different nations that were in her womb, Jacob and Esau. Okay. And now it's starting to play out in a very dramatic fashion right now. All right. Because in times past, during slavery, during the times of our captivities, the Lord, pretty much turned his back on us in the sense that all of our enemies were able to get the upper hand on us. But now, as we're heading into these last days, the Lord is going to truly fight for us. All right. But before this takes place, there's going to be this race war, man. All right. And this nation is now gearing up and they're preparing. You see that again, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors that is taking place right now. Right. And the smoke and mirrors is this, everybody's so concerned about whether or not they're going to have a job, what the executive orders are, if Trump is going to pass this, if he's going to do this. We can't stand Trump. They're all focused in on what Trump is doing. All right. But they're not reading the fine print or reading between the lines, if you will, what's being brought forward. All right. And the thing that is being brought forward is these race wars, these civil wars. All right. These upcoming troubles, the tribulation concerning the, famine, the pestilence. All these things are now on the horizon, man. And the only people I can say, from what I'm watching and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, the only people who are not prepared are you Israelites out there, man. Again, still in shock because Donald Trump's in office, man. And this is why the Lord has set up his servants on the highways and byways, right? We're letting you know it's not about, the government, if you will. The government closing down, the government shutting down, the president, making the price of food go up and all this. This is about the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And we've been telling you people this. And if you understood these things, the scriptures would give you comfort. The scriptures would give you hope to know that the Lord is coming, man. And he's going to be that defense. But these Edomites, they're ready. They're waiting and ready for that green light. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 15. I'm going to bounce around in 2 Ezra for a little bit. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands." All right. So the two main characters are Jacob and Esau, whom we are today. All right. You got the Israelites and you got the Edomites. And everybody's going to be stemming off of these two characters, man. If you will. Now I'll use that word character like that. But they're going to be stemming off of this. You're going to have to pick a side. These nations are going to pick a side. All right. And the majority of these nations are going to side on Esau's side, man. All right. Because remember, going back to Psalms the 83rd chapter, man, that crafty counsel It's those very same spirits from them nations, that council that was back then, that are going to spring forward today. Okay? Continuing on, like I said, I'm going to bounce around a little bit here. It's 2 Ezra 15 and 19. I can read just straight down, but I'm going to do it in this fashion. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Right? Now, when it speaks about a man having no pity upon his neighbor, you let these Christians and all these other denominations tell you about, loving thy neighbor and listen, the Lord is a perfect balance, man. You can't have one without the other. All right? When the rubber meets the road and these things start to happen, then you're going to find out. And then you're going to see, all right, that we've been telling you, we've been warning you. You ain't prepared spiritually, you ain't prepared, then you're going to get swept up and taken, man. All right? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right? This is the time we're coming in. The stores are going to shut down. Your medical, your hospitals, they're going to shut down. The ability to have some type of protection, that's going to shut down. All right? And Esau, as the scripture says, is a cunning hunter. They love this. They love living off the land, in the woods and all these things that, one would need to know for survival when the breaking of society happens. The breaking down of society. Jake ain't nowhere near damn near ready for shit, man. You know what I'm saying? We of the hope for the elect, we put our trust and hope in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So that, that's our protection. That's who we put our trust in. And may he guide our paths and lead us to where we need to be as he protects us and shows us, his wrath that's coming upon this place. All right? But not one minute or not 1 hour will pass where when this thing starts going, you may seek any comfort outside of these scriptures. You will not seek any comfort out here. You got all these people making videos now, especially the black woman. The black woman, they all caught up in what we're gonna do and Trump, and they're shutting shutting our workforce down and all this other shit. You're gonna have bigger fish to fry, man. There's bigger fish to fry on the horizon. Niggas are worried about what Trump is doing and what Trump is a damn puppet, man. Don't you can't see the big picture? You can't see what's about to go down? See, you people took the Lord's prophets as just jokes, man. You taking the prophets of the Lord as jokes. You thinking that the Lord is just gonna, heal this country up. The Lord's determination is to gather the nation to destroy this place, man. That's the Lord's determination. To destroy Babylon the Great. All right? AKA Sodom and Gomorrah. All right? And it's definitely known as Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Y'all brothers see what the hell is going on lately. And them sodomite spirits are rising up. Matthew 24 and 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Nobody's giving a damn about what your feelings are or what you have or what you don't have. No one gives a damn anymore. All right? The Lord is now starting to separate people. He's starting to put, a certain spirit on people. And you can see it as it unfolds. Let me go back to this video real quick. Listen to what these devils are saying.
And he knows us a lot about the men we identified from outside the conference using facial recognition software. Men like Thomas Rousseau.
Nationalism is natural. Patriotism is inevitable.
Rousseau, seen here during a demonstration in Nashville last summer, heads the Patriot Front, one of the largest organized hate groups in the country. Known for their flash mob protests that suddenly spring out of the backs of rental trucks, members wear white gaiters to hide their faces. Their flag-waving marches are designed to present an image that also hides the hate behind their cause.
When you get within their private spaces online, members of Patriot Front worship Hitler, right?
All right. So they coming, man. Jumping out the back of U-Hauls. You know, they're amongst us, right? And likewise, they're saying the same shit about us. They're amongst us. So the time is short, man. The time is real short. And it'll behoove you people, you Israelites out there, to get your mind right. All right? Scriptures say folly is set in great dignity. All right? America will make you believe that, you know, you got a fighting chance over here. You ain't got no chance over here, man. You don't have a chance over here. Verse 20, it says, Behold, saith the power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, I will call together the kings of the earth to reverence me, from which are from the rising of the sun, and from the south, and from the east, and from the blameless, to turn themselves one against another, and to repay the things that they have done unto them. Who is the them? Us. All right? It says, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So this time is it's coming, man. The Lord is about to let these devils loose, and they're gonna do as they wish, man. And if you Israelites aren't ready, if you ain't prepared, if you haven't seen the writing on the wall of what's about to happen out here, now I spoke about, you know, for lack of bread. So check this out. CSIS, it says, dangerously hungry, the link between food, insecurity, and conflict. All right. Now let's read real quick again. It says, for the sword, 2 Ezra 15:15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. All right. So when these people raise up with swords in their hands, what's going to be happening? Again, you're going to have the conflict of food, hunger, diseases, pestilence. Jumping down to verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods for lack of bread and great tribulation. Lack of bread meaning food. All right. That's going to be one of the major driving forces to some of the hostility, if you will. When people start to go hungry, what do? They get irrational. All right. And this is just a drop in the bucket as to all the things that are going to be, you know, taking place at the same time. All right. But again, this food crisis is going to really drive a lot of people to their feet. All right. Having these little skirmishes and civil issues in each community, or if you will, or each state or each country, a lot of it's going to be driven by the lack of food, lack of water, lack of financial stability. All right. This is dated April 21st, 2023, a few years back. So when you read these articles that are a few years back, and you intertangle it in with what's going on today, it's much more worse now than it was back then, because we're coming to the end of this thing. It says economist Paul Collier once wrote that war is development in reverse, The conflict inevitably produces poverty and hunger is a theory that has been tested and proven true in every major clash across human history. It is believed, for example, that more people die of starvation and starvation-related diseases than from combat during the Second World War. But it is also true that hunger and food insecurities can lead to instability. There is a vicious feedback loop between conflict and hunger currently at play in dozens of countries around the world. War drives hunger and hunger drives war. All right? So again, it's going to be a slow start, if you will. When these stores start closing down, when everything starts, to really bring. Let me see. Shit. No. See that? It's Ecclesiastes 12:3. It says, "In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease because there are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up to the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." All right? So we're coming into that stead right now, where these things are going to start happening. Are not the doors being shut in the street? A lot of businesses are closing down. All right? And I believe what this administration is also doing is they're also bringing this place to a chokehold. All right? They're going to need to get you people to rely on them wholeheartedly. Okay? That's what they need. That's what they're doing. And what greater way to do that is to start cutting off your access to food, your access to, transportation, your access to come and go freely. You see? This is what the idea is behind what Donald Trump is doing. Because ultimately they want to push that MO, right? They want to push that. But they got to bring you people to your knees so you can just readily accept it. That whole first run in 2020, when they were showing, doing different things with your health, if you will, right? If you take this, the sooner we can get back to normalcy. Well, the same thing is going to happen when they start to introduce that digital device. Well, if you take this, the sooner you can get back to normalcy. Okay? So there's so many moving parts right now, and it's beautiful because we of the hope for the elect, we see it. We see this all unfolding right before our very eyes. All right? And again, as I said earlier, a lot of you people are just, hell bent on trying to figure out how Joe Biden lost. All right? We way past that point, man. The Lord is putting the spirit on these kings of the earth, the king of Babylon, right, and his administration. You see what they're doing. This shit, what you seeing here, you ain't gonna, people are, well, we just got another 4 years. We'll next 4 years, we'll be all right after. Nah, this is it, man. This is the downfall that America has to see. The start of the downfall that America has to see before the Lord starts to really hammer this place down, man. Okay? So all that's going on. The stores are being closed. There's no food. All right? There's going to be no medical. There's going to be no emergency assistance. There's going to be none of that. And this is why the scriptures speak about you know, a man is not going to have pity upon his neighbor, because there's going to be no help from anybody on the outside. What you see today, you can pick up the phone, you can call 911, you can call the police, you can call the ambulance, you can call the fire department, you can go to the emergency room, you can sit there and wait for a doctor to see you, you can go to the pharmacy, get your medication. All that's going to come to a halt, man. And then you're going to see a man having no pity upon his neighbor, robbing him for his goods. As the scriptures say, friends fighting each other like enemies. All right? So be prepared, man. Be prepared and start watching these signs. Start measuring the times that we're living in. All right? And Lord willing, the Lord is going to continue to have his prophets teaching and preaching and speaking this word, that you may take heed. Not everybody's going to listen, because not everybody's going to believe. As the scripture says, what if some did not believe? Right? So you're going to have these people, man. And moreover, the crazy thing is, you got men who've been in this, this truth, if you will. They truly don't believe. Just by how they're carrying themselves. All right? So Lord willing, with that, I'm going to see our brothers in another one. And be ready, man, because there's going to be a lot more unfolding. You know? Now they're talking about the government shutdown. Now I believe when Bill Clinton was in office, there was a small shutdown. All right? But there's never been a full-fledged government shutdown that lasted for weeks on end. This may be the time, man. This very well may be the time that this country suffers a full-fledged shutdown. And as you know, it always starts with the federal government. All right? And Donald and the boys, they're already dismantling the federal government. So it only makes sense that they shut this bitch down, as Donald Trump said, to find out where all this money's been going. So you brothers stay tuned through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Pray without ceasing, because we just never know, man. This shit might pop off, today, tomorrow. And before you know it, man, the MOTB is going to be right in full effect. All right. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.